Big news though, Harley-Davidson, the Street 750 is going to come to India. You're going to see it at the Auto Expo in production form. I believe they're going to announce prices at the Auto Expo. They will open booking and the first deliveries are slotted for something like June, which means we should probably have a first ride for you sometime in April end or May, I think. Exciting motorcycle because it gets you a genuine Harley-Davidson at under 5 lakh rupees on road, which I think is a phenomenal proposition. So phenomenal actually that the 500 may never see the light of day in India because they're so similar in construction that there may not actually be a logical place for the 500 to sit, where the price difference is big enough to justify the purchase of a 500 over a 750. On the other side, of course, Triumph, very aggressive, launched with 10 products, and I think 2014 will be the year when the line expands a little bit. Maybe I expect to see about 13 or 14 motorcycles before the year is out. And since all the families are here, it's an easy expansion to do. I believe their 4 dealers will go online in January, the sales will open, the delivery will start. So Triumph will actually be busy in the initial part of the year, just setting up their business. And we're going to see the expansion of the line towards the end of the year. You can watch out on Overdrive for the story on the Bonneville. We rode it, we loved it, and I'm telling you, if that's what an entry-level motorcycle Triumph is bringing, it's going to be an amazing range to ride, own and buy. More importantly, of course, the pricing, the lower end pricing I think is a little bit expensive. I think Triumph needs to figure out how to make the prices a little bit lower. It's just a little bit higher, but towards the top end they are expensive motorcycles and they will be fun motorcycles to ride. Also on the move is Ducati. They've had a distributor in India and it's not gone very well. The dealerships have come and gone, service has been a nightmare, motorcycle deliveries have been a nightmare. It's been a difficult time for Ducati. It's not something that the company has been unaware of, but finally they've taken some steps forward and they've said next year is when Ducati India sets up as a wholly owned subsidiary. Now, whether it becomes part of the Volkswagen group, whether it sits up under Audi separately, we don't know yet. It makes sense for them to share back-end resources with the Volkswagen setup in India. But what that means is there's finally Ducati themselves running their own business in India. Of course, there will be Indian partners at the dealer level, at the distributor level, and Precision Motors, their current Indian partner, will play a role in the transition. They will probably also get charge of 2 regions or maybe 1 region of India where they will handle sales and service and whatever. But the point is, they've always had good products, they've always had products that excite us, and finally they're going to get the back-end setup that they need to make these products accessible to customers, where customers are confident of buying these products. And 2014, of course, is not going to be a year when the current manufacturers play the game and everybody else just ignores India. We will have new manufacturers. The confirmed announcement is Indian is coming to India. It's a story we broke here at Overdrive, and now we have confirmation that towards the end of January, I think 22nd January, Indian will start the sales of the Chief here. Currently, Indian, of course, has only 3 motorcycles. They're all based on the Chief. There's the Classic, the Vintage and the Chieftain. Chieftain, of course, we are the only people who've ridden the motorcycle. The first ride is up on the website. Fantastic motorcycle, feels very well made, lots of features, and of course it will be expensive. I'm expecting a price point about 25 lakh rupees. And I think Polaris will not stop at just the Indian, and towards the end of the year they will also introduce Victory. They're creating a separate dealership network for this, and I think it will be a co-branded network where Victory will take one part of the showroom and Indian will take one part of the showroom. There's no real overlap between the 2 kinds of cruisers, so I don't think there's a conflict there. So Indian will come to India for sure in January, Victory by the end of the year, and that will be our new manufacturer this year, Indian. Suzuki had told us at the 2012 Auto Expo that 2014 was when their enthusiast motorcycles would finally get here, and I think they're not even going to wait that long. Just before the Auto Expo, I believe quietly Suzuki will introduce the Inazuma or the GW250. It's a parallel twin, makes about 24-25 PS and is highly regarded as a comfortable all-round motorcycle. Not extraordinarily sporty or anything, but a very competent motorcycle. So that's going to come. It's going to be their first CKD product in India. You're hearing it first on Overdrive again. It's going to be their first CKD product for India. That motorcycle's on its way. That's Suzuki. Vespa, again, there will be more scooters. Currently they have the VX, which is the disc brake version of the current scooter. Unfortunately, it doesn't really have a name because in India they insist on calling it just the Vespa instead of the LX125 like everywhere else. But so the Vespa VX are already here. I'm expecting to see more products. The Primavera, which was shown at Milan, I was there, is the replacement that they've shown for the LX125. I believe it's in Vespa's interest to bring that scooter here. So I think we're going to see that. Vespa also has their Aprilia and Moto Guzzi lines on sale. I think the big movement that they can do is expand the dealership network and make the motorcycles available to more people in more parts of the country. But the ranges are all available, so I don't really, I mean, all the model updates will come, but there's no significant really thing to say there. Royal Enfield just started with the Continental GT. That new yellow color is going to come out by March, and from what we are hearing, that's not the only launch they have for the rest of the year. It's not that we built such a new motorcycle that the rest of the year will just spend stabilizing this motorcycle and rolling out the motorcycle. So we are going to see a couple of launches from Royal Enfield. We are not exactly sure what these launches are, but if they include upgrades to the chassis and engines based on what they've done with the Royal Enfield GT, the whole line will improve, and I think that's a good thing. So if you look at it, the action is all between the 250 and let's say the 1 liter class is where all the action is. It's a very, very interesting trend because this trend is gathering momentum, and 2014 will be a big year that will fill the gap from the liter class sports bike down to, you know, where the 200s are, and 2015 will be more of this. And I think by 2015 you'll start seeing the announcement that's saying India is now the world's largest seller of these middleweight motorcycles, and I think it's a very exciting time to be here, and 2014 is going to be a fantastic year for us motorcyclists. Happy New Year.